Well, look at that. Isn't it beautiful? Good morning, September. I'm always stuck in September, but it's November the 8th. Having a beautiful morning here. It's about 10 a.m. and I'm sharing my love with nature. I've got the sun right here. Can you see that? That's beautiful. I'm transmitting. We invented this World Wide Web to transmit everything that we do, everything that you hear, everything that you see. Everything is being recorded from every eyeball on Earth through the plasma, the electric magnetic field around the Earth, right? You think all this is by accident? There happens to be a magnetic shield around Earth close enough to the sun to protect it from destroying itself. That Jupiter is 800 million miles or 365 million miles away, and it's there to protect us from all the bullshit going on. The dangerous universe is fucking dangerous. Have you seen the surface of Venus? That was an Earth at one point. But I don't know how many trillion years it's been. Who knows? But, Venus was at a point in the solar system where it was habitable for life, and a trillion years later, it's so close to the sun. But whatever was in the atmosphere is deadly now because of the distance that's changed. The distance has changed between Venus and the sun. You know that, right? You know that the distance is changing between the Earth and the sun, and the moon and the Earth are all changing every year in measurable differences, with reflective mirrors on the moon that were put there by Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin, in fact. And anybody that denies that, like that woman in Candace Owens, get rid of her. Mute her. Anyone that a flat earther comes across your feed, a conspiracy theorist about the moon landing, just block, avoid, mute, get them out of your life forever, and never have them come into your life again. But it's time, people, that we face the facts and the truth about the earth and how it got here and why we're here. Okay? So, what we have 8, 10 billion, 20 billion life years on this particular earth in this particular part of the solar system. Give me a break. Okay, we're in control. We're, as a collective consciousness, God, who created this planet, by no mistake, by the fact of the total solar eclipse, okay, the exact distance, photosynthesis, water, the right distance. Look how mathematically impossible that is when we look out into the sky. We see exoplanets around these suns. Every one of those lights, oh, how much life is on those lights? None, they're suns. But all the exoplanets that are out there, what are the possibilities? You may need to have a moon like ours for life to exist, for the world to wobble, for the world to tilt exactly the way it needs to. If that, how many trillions of years would it take to come across a planet like this one? And look how we're treating it. Look how we're treating this planet. Look at the people on this planet that ignore these Donald Trumps of the world that don't believe in climate change and they want to drill, baby, drill. Well, we're already drilling at the max. Let me just tell you right now, on this date, November the 8th, a perfect day in history, when we start realizing some things, that when we deny these things, we're going to destroy our Earth, okay? This Earth has another 4 billion years of life left on it if we treat it right. If not, it's going to have hundreds of years left on it. Look at the direction we're going. people wake up. Do you see the weather patterns over the last 100 years? Just look at the last few years, 5 to 10 years, how much it's changed in the 10 years. Don't you understand that that's accelerating? That's an accelerating graph, our climate change. Okay, that's us doing that by making the gasoline engine, which should have never been invented in the first place. We already had electric. The gasoline engine, whoever allowed that to happen, didn't look to the future, right? Did anybody fight that gasoline engine at the time that at one day there would be 100 billion vehicles on the earth starting every day and polluting the little teeny? You ever see the size of our atmosphere from the moon? You can't see it. They can barely see the atmosphere from the International Space Station. It's that fragile, that thin. Okay, the plants on this is where I come to get oxygen every day. I don't have a single plant in my house because I can't fucking water those plants to save my life. But what do I need that for? I got it right here. Okay, we need to treat our planet starting today like the atmosphere is fragile. Okay, so it's no accident. This solar system's no accident. The markings on the solar system are no accident. The different phases of the planets. Why is Venus hotter than Mercury? Okay, Venus was protected at one time. Now it's not. Okay, Mercury's cooler than Venus, is closer to the sun. Figure that one out. It's because of the atmosphere. Our atmosphere is in the same danger. We're going to be a future Venus. A couple billion years from now. Who knows? Or sooner if we fuck it up. So as the planner of the eternal universe and the direction that we're going to go, because humanity, believe it or not, even the point of this video I was going to make is music and messages and movies. Okay, these are prophetic things telling us either about now, the past, or the future. Okay, and we're planning our own. Gene Roddenberry invented the communicator flip phone in the 60s, right? That's what we got now. We did that by dreaming it. Do you understand? We're dreaming to go to Mars and occupy Mars. Why can't we? We have resources here that we can get there and make a small village. And expand on that. And who knows what would happen when we start growing things or changing things on Mars. Who knows what will happen? We don't know. I see a future where maybe we can rehabilitate the planet. Maybe. Some way. I don't know. Or at least figure out what fossils are on that thing. Let's figure that out. And get a timeline and figure it out. So we have to think about the very, very near future, is what I'm saying. And the music tells the story, okay? David Gilmour, I'm going to tell you a long story about that in another video. I'm going to tell you a story about Pink Floyd and who they are, where they came from, their backgrounds, and how certain things are not like coincidences. Like when you go on YouTube and you look up, just type in this, Pink Floyd, Wizard of Oz, click. And you'll get the nice, very beautifully done video with the soundtrack, perfectly done. And I'm telling you, that's not a coincidence, some of the things that happen with the music. That's something else, the entity that you guys don't think exists. You atheists are dummies. I see you on TikTok fighting fighting these believers like you know something. I laugh at you guys too. I laugh at the Christian things that claim Christ is real, and I laugh at you atheists that think there's no God and you just fucking disappear. Are you kidding me? You're stupid. So anyway, I enjoy watching you guys. I love the fight. I love you guys tearing down the Bible. We need more people like Dan McClellan and a bunch of live creators that debate these truthers. I don't remember all their names, but I watch y'all. either side, because I know both sides. God designed it all. The evil, the fucking shit side. People love that shit. He loves that shit. He created the sexual side. He created the creative side. He created the geniuses in the world. They're the same souls over and over that are doing the hard work. The same people are doing the hard work. The same people are falling in love and showing people, like the Obamas. They've been, they're two different ethnic backgrounds from two different areas of the world that were once related, and they're back again. And look at the beautiful love that they have. People like the Obamas, Faith Hill and Tim McGraw. What other fantastic marriages are there? There's so many. Pierce Brosnan and his wife. Loyal. She was the best-looking, 4-time Earth-saving James Bond, most beautiful man on the world at the time, and his wife is a little heavy, and I get it when you have kids and shit. My wife got heavy. What are you gonna do? You fuck a heavy wife, whatever. You love her still. You love her, and he could have had any woman in the world he wanted and stayed with his wife and was never. Howard Stern and Beth Ostrowski. Look at both of those people deserve that so much. Howard deserves the hottest girl on the planet. Because mentally he is a pervert deep inside, but he does it he's the most the most integral man on the planet. And his wife, can you enjoy the intelligence of hanging with a man like that, making you laugh all fucking day, knows shit about everything, can break down walls with guest stars that from the president to a fucking retard dying of whatever disease in a wheelchair. Doesn't matter who they are. He treats them all the same. And he's so respected. And his wife, she got a gift from God to have him in her life, and vice versa. So I'm talking about couples like that, Hollywood couples that last. Kevin Bacon and his wife. What can you imagine the throes that they go through every day in their life? If he wasn't rich, he says he would probably kill himself. He loves his life and his wife so much. Do you watch him have fun with his music, his Blues Monday music, and his music to his wife and dedication to her? A couple like that. Those are the things that were designed. Elton John and his husband. Great guy. I know their names. I have schizophrenia. I have oncoming dementia. I have diabetes. I'm 200 every day. I got to inject myself 4 times. I'm going to die soon. I want to get these things out there of how a civilization should be worldwide. We got to model ourselves after Europe and take climate change seriously. Pulling out of the climate accord and reducing these EV things is the wrong decision. And drilled baby drill is not the solution. And we're drilling at max anyway. And we're selling our excess oil offshore, all our excess oil. We're 100% independent. No amount of drilling is going to change that. No amount of drilling is going to change the commodity. The OPEC and Russia is in control of the prices right now. I'm telling you that it's Donald Trump's fault that gas prices were high. He killed production with OPEC. They played him for a sucker. Okay, and I'm telling you right now, nothing's going to change the gas prices. In fact, they may even go up because they're going to play him some more. Okay, and come on, ExxonMobil is making too much profit anyway, but it's insane money, the gas in this world, and it's under control by a mob. Do you understand? So we've got to take climate change seriously. We've got to move cars to electric or hydrogen or water or however we can figure out how to make these things work. Let me tell you, in Marathon, Florida, where the sun shines 300 days a year, it should run on sun on the roof of a car and let it go for free. And they should be half the price that they are, and half the price of a gas car. There's so many less parts. It's so much easier to make. The technology is so simple. You're reducing so much weight and everything else, and you can buy whatever version you want, a 2-seater or a 1-seater, a flying one, whatever they do, but it should be all powered by the sun, everything. Take it seriously. I'm telling you, Trump is going to fail miserably. You're going to see some terrible changes going on. Okay, hiring a woman for chief of staff, she's she looks like an okay lady to me from reading her history. It's the first thing I did. And so the chief of the White House, whatever, it's a nothing job. She's a helper. Okay, she can put her 2 cents in, but really it's going to run the way it runs with her, without her. It's not a big deal. Hiring a woman, she's older, in her 60s, 67, she should be retired. Hire somebody young, a woman that's been through a PhD, that understands the concepts of having a free world and work toward a one world government where we remove the borders, okay, and we remove the pollution on this planet, and we eliminate crime the way the most successful countries on earth do it. The way they do, there's like literally no crime in some places, like El Salvador, because he put his fucking foot down. He didn't send everybody to America. He put them all in a jail after he built a huge fucking jail and rounded up everybody and put them in jail, and he's still rounding up everybody. And did you see the crew he put together to find that gang in that neighborhood? The thousands of people and troops and police he put together to find them? There's no fucking around in El Salvador, and that's why they have the lowest crime rate. And we have to do the same. As simple as that. Just put these people away and rehabilitate them properly in a proper institution where they're educated, they understand the concepts, they learn something that they love to do, whether it's music or art or whatever. Doesn't matter. Train them, get them healthy, get them mentally healthy, get them off the drugs and all the medications, get them exercise, let them have the people that do well, let them give them more freedoms and get them out when they're ready to behave. And it's as simple as that. Just put your foot down, rehabilitate these people properly. Don't lock them up in cages like you do. It's insane. Okay, unfortunately, I was I had a psychotic episode. I stole a phone, which I thought was sent to me by the creator, because I destroyed my phone in a rage of psychotic episode where I was trying to train my mom to kiss my feet because I was king and Lord, and that bitch, because she comes from hell, and we're converting her through a million generations. People with brown eyes come from the dark side, and the people with light eyes come from the light side, and we're trying to mold ourselves together. And if you look and ask AI, and you go to ChatGTP, and everyone in the world should have a ChatGTP on their smartphone, and ask it questions unlimited until you're blue in the face, because it'll answer unlimited questions researching the world. So anyway, ChatGTP is a necessity, and all right. So anyway, I get these mind blanks when I have this schizophrenia. Is crazy shit, man. I get the craziest messages through a number of different media. Obviously, the internet, TV, movies, and music are my communication, because there's the only communication that you have with the creator is through what happens around you. You can only write. That's the only communication you'll ever get is what from happens around you. If you're alone in a dark room and there's no music, no TV, no lights, there's nothing. And that's one of the possibilities you'll become, if that's what you believe, because that's the dark end of the spectrum. I'm tying up a few people that follow me, and this is for my kids, and I'm teaching them what I believe, and I'll get back to the earth and the direction, and Donald Trump and the climate, and jails, and religion. I'm going to talk about that in a second, but anyway, that's what schizophrenia does. I'm doing it again. Hey, so good morning. It's November the 11th, 2024, a very special day, Remembrance Day, 11/11. I'm getting very strong messages, very unlikely coincidences with music. It's impossible. It's just impossible. I just wanted to lay this out. I believe there's a contest to figure out who the creator is and how we're here and the truth of it all. And I believe that slowly throughout my life, he's been showing me day by day, hour by hour, month by month, just constant reminders that this whole planet, this whole civilization was by design, and there's a winner to whoever figures it out. I saw my rebirth when I wake up. I wake up to in a chair to a lot of people that I know in their perfected forms. I recognize them. They're famous people and people I've known, and I've seen a lot of things happen in other realms and other dimensions. So is it just my mind playing tricks? It's impossible. So I wanted to thank the creator. First of all, I've learned that if you ask for it, what you want, and be patient, I want the ultimate. I want to be patient and get the ultimate goal. And that is the love of my life forever and ever, for one. And two, I want credit for everything. I don't know what it is. It's just how I feel. It's just such a long story, so I just have to be patient is what he's telling me now. But tonight I came out here to get a vibe, and he asked me to come out and sit back here by my fire. That's what I'm doing. This is my paradise here, the Atlantic Ocean. Love it. Good morning, everybody. Me and the sun again. I just wanted to share this epiphany about sound. Why the creator made a planet with oxygen. Do you know that if a tree fell in a forest and no one was there to hear it, there's no sound. There's no sound. There are sound waves that are processed by your ear, and then the sound is created in your brain. So without a brain, there's no sound, only sound waves. So the most important, confirming by this bird landing by my feet, the most important thing to the creator was to create sound. Okay, and of course sight, but sound was the most important thing to the creator. Okay, just think about all the life that he's put on this earth from around the universe, from the dinosaurs, from the fossils, to whatever DNA was around the universe that landed on this planet at some time. So with sound, he's been able to create every kind of life that there ever was, and that includes underwater, right? Sonar. And he decided that he wanted to perfect the sounds that were happening in his environment. Think about dinosaurs screeching, or your favorite song at the Royal Albert Hall in London, with your favorite band, or Adele singing Someone Like You. You know, do you know why Adele sings Someone Like You? Yeah, she had a thought. She doesn't know how divine she is. She had a thought about a relationship that didn't work out, you know, and we all have our regrets because, you know, when we fall in love with somebody, and I've fallen in love over 100 times in my life, sometimes it's taken seconds, and sometimes it's taken many, many years. And I've been with my mother for 57 years plus, almost 58, and I can tell you I'm still trying to learn how to love her. So this love affair with my mother has taken 57 years so far. Just to get off track and do the weave, this is how you're supposed to do the weave, Trump. But I'm sometimes I wish the end was here. And it's so sounds mean to say that, but I don't know what it is. It's just my mother has a huge lack of empathy. Anyway, now to get back on topic, Adele, she sang those lyrics, but these artists that are divine this way, that are inspired, you know, musically in the written word, or poets, these are the thoughts of the creator, okay, to tell a story. And these artists sing to the creator. Anytime you hear the word you, her, the sun, whether it's the father and son or the sun in the sky, these are pronouns referring to the creator. In addition, things like river, a lot of nouns, ocean, mountain, you know, these are pronouns for the creator when these artists sing these magical songs. And to tell you, there's 100 million songs available basically for free on Apple Plus Music, is God's creation to share the music of the world, to tell the complete story of our whole future, okay? And it involves the creator, okay? And it happens in your life. You're planning your future, your eternal. It's a long time. They all sing about forever, okay? There's no coincidence why every artist sings about forever. So there's a forever, okay? Let me tell you the temperature here right now. It's 77 degrees on this Remembrance Day in Canada and Veterans Day in the U.S. and all over Europe in remembrance of World War I on 11/11. I got my alarm set for 11:10 a.m. To honor God. I'm going to look right in the sun and say, hey, enough war, enough lying. Okay, if we can't stop the nonsense in the age of 2024, when we've realized we're all human, we all came from a fucking fish, from a single cell at one point, with a lot of magical DNA floating around the universe for quadrillions of years, at least. Come on, there's no end and no beginning. That's the Alpha and the Omega, is the universe. Okay, our consciousness, okay, call it whatever you want. The World Wide Web, your smartphone, 7.1 billion smartphones on the earth, 8 billion people on the earth, okay, you know, take out children and people underage. There's more smartphones than people. We're all connected. This is the consciousness, okay? Call it the higher level that people are looking for, that Jesus talked about and all that bullshit. The higher level is what you're looking for. This consciousness. If you're not on TikTok, get on TikTok and learn about everybody's culture and the truth of what's happening. Al Jazeera English, watch those channels, see what's going on over there in the Middle East for real. The people are being really persecuted, Okay, so you gotta support people like Roger Waters. He has a platform for a reason. Okay, condemning genocide on the earth. You got to follow Roger Waters, but at the same time, you got to follow David Gilmour promoting guitar gods from an eternal universe, 6-string gods. You don't think the Eric Claptons, the David Gilmours, the Jimmy Pages, the Slashes. There's so many fucking Prince is the most amazing. These people. You did see how they play these magical guitarists? I couldn't do it. I don't know how it's done. It's magic. It's a gift from God. Look at Howard Stern trying to learn the guitar and learning it at age 70, learning the guitar, a beautiful $4,000 Taylor Swift guitar that he bought himself. Wonderful. He's learning a skill that's connecting him to the creator of all time. Him and Beth are in the kingdom. They're in the higher levels of the kingdom. They end up in the next world. It's a kingdom that's across this earth in a dimensional place that has seen all the positive on the earth and is creating that now in this dimension. So Europe is restored to its Renaissance era, and Rome is restored to its 2,000-year-old architecture and society, and with the modern advances. You see, everything is electronic. This is all going to incorporate into the old. It's all being created right now in the next dimension. Look forward to that. So my mom, I gotta forgive her. I just can't love her. I don't know if I'll cry even if she dies. I cried for my dad quite a bit. My dad was my anchor. I respected his and to finish my thought from the video from the other day, so I was saying is to finish my thought from the other day about my mom and my dad, and what we need to do as a society is what the Creator is telling me. I used to believe, when I was going through this process of trying to find, the truth about who we are. When I started this process, I took the Bible literally. Reading Isaiah and some of the Old Testament stuff that I thought were prophetic, kind of being pushed by a false narrative by a lot of creators on YouTube. These guys that promote end time prophecies based on the Bible. It's such nonsense. It's been so debunked, and the whole intention of why they wrote it when they wrote it is completely out in the open. So when in the mid 2015s, I was going through an experience. I was getting these visions, and I was trying to put Jesus, but Jesus, he doesn't exist. I've never had a vision about Jesus or anything like that. So that's just BS. The whole church thing, everything. The buildings are beautiful, and we'll convert them, to a third party in your country to use these buildings. Let's get together and create a party that we can run, like in the U.S., a third party that believes in a deity of any kind, but doesn't believe in religion on the earth and all these books. Okay, so let's put humanity first. Let's not have the Bible decide what we do. It's not a real document. Okay, but let's respect nature and God and humanity, and rules and law and order. So to finish my thought, first on my mom, I hope she hangs on as long as she can, but with this dementia and her health It's kind of driving me crazy. I mean, because she's not appreciative because of her sickness. You know, she bitches a lot and she's complaining a lot and woe is me, and it's this onset of dementia where she's not grateful for anything. I don't have to do shit for her. I got to take care of myself. But she's not grateful for any of it. And I grocery shop for her every week, every few times a week. I feed her. I get shit for her all day long. I take care of her pool and her spa and her backyard and the mail and her bills. And, you know, she was paying for things she was never using. So anyway, it's hard for me to love my mom because of the pain I went through as a child, being beat up by my father, and my twin brother being beat up by my father. And I can't say that I love her, but I respect her, and I give her a nice cremation, and hopefully I'll split that 3 ways with my brother Rob and his wife Kathy when it happens, because I think it's around $3,500, and that's a lot of money for me. But anyway, to finish my thought, my dad, I respected him. He had a good work ethic, but he wasn't a nice guy. But for some reason, he was my father, and to me, that meant respect. I was taught to respect your parents. And, you know, maybe that's one good thing that came out of the Bible, which is an amazing book, don't get me wrong. It's an amazing book. There's a lot of great writings and teachings, and the Proverbs are great, the Psalms are great, and, you know, the stories are metaphors. Let's face it, they're metaphors, and they're learning lessons, you know. But and you can take a lot of positive out of that, but we can take out a lot of negative. So it's very contradictory. So let's just face it, okay? Let's get back to the jails. You know, we put these people in, give them rehabilitation, give them everything they earn, get them out as fast as possible if they've earned it and they've agreed to obey by the law, and then put them on probation, and just put them on probation for you know, a decent enough time that they can behave themselves for a few years. And if they break it, if they break the law again, they just serve their original term. Okay, and no ands, ifs, or buts. Just simplify the whole thing, the whole system. Let's get rid of. I mean, we need to get towards like a 2 or 3 day work week worldwide. Let's let these computers do the work. Let's remove all the levels we don't need in multiple organizations across the whole worldwide world. I mean, everything is redundant times 100. Like, we don't need Pepsi and Coke in the whole wide world. Just use Coke and brand Pepsi. Just make it one company. Eliminate the profits and pay whatever they need to be paid, you know, so they can live a comfortable life. Just give them unlimited whatever, but they don't need billions of dollars in the bank sitting there. You know, it's not. There's no way that can sustain itself long term. Okay, we need to simplify the earth for all of mankind, work as little as possible, enjoy the earth, work on staying healthy and eating right, and getting back to, you know, community values, family values, coming back to homegrown food, and getting rid of all these conglomerates and competition. You know, there's some success about China, there's some success about Russia. You know, Chinese people don't have it that bad, and their infrastructure in some of the places I've seen in China is incredible in the whole wide world. You know, so they invest in their infrastructure, and the money doesn't seem to be an object for them. You know, so there's probably positives to everything, but our way of government is wrong. You know, so, you know, I'd like to start, my goal in my 60s, I'm 57. My goal in my 60s is to create a third party in this country, to lead it, to build a community of people that are for humanity, and base all their decisions based on science and fact, and not ancient 2,000-year-old books. Okay, and once we agree to that, I think we have enough people. We can have a third party in this country, and then start making some positive changes. And this two-party system's not working at all. okay, in the U.S. It's just, they're bought and paid for. It's all about money. We got to remove the lobbying in this country. We've got to remove private health care in this country, and nationalize health care nationwide, and limit these exorbitant insurance cases, that make healthcare 100 times more expensive than it should be. Doctors, they deserve a good living. $250 to $500 a year. That's what a doctor should make. A doctor shouldn't make more than $1 million a year doing whatever he's doing. I can't see that. Anyway, you gotta nationalize healthcare in this country. Get a third party set up, and that's the only way. That's what the Creator tells me the future is in this world. Who knows how long it'll take? It might take 100 years, okay, until we get equality in the whole wide world. That's the direction we have to go. This America first, is BS. We have to think worldwide, globally, about the things that we do. Okay, if things are cheaper in China, let the competition drive down prices here. Don't tariff anything. Just let it be a free market, as long as we have standards with humanity and rules regarding employment, that are recognized worldwide, about children working and that kind of thing, and fair wages for everyone. So anyway, those are those thoughts about the world and my mom and my dad, and the reason why I'm here. And that I came from the Kingdom of the Netherlands. I went through Toronto, which is the needle in the sky, okay, flagging the birthplace of the king, and then immigrating to in 1993 to the U.S. for a reason. Okay, talked to thousands and thousands of people across this country in the car business for 30 years. Okay, and talked to hundreds of people a week. And I have a census of the country, the people, the backgrounds, and just the demographics of the country. There's good and bad all over, but there's a lot of bad, a lot of broken down towns in this country. We need to clean it all up, every abandoned building and every abandoned road, and start digging up pavement and concrete and building with natural materials, and get back to beautifying this place as it's going to be here for an infinity. We got to build stuff to last, and everything's designed to break down in a few months or years. Anyway, this all can be done. As far as I'm concerned, the music is telling me who I am and who the people are that are causing positive change and negative change on the earth, and so I'll keep you posted and keep you posted how I'm doing. Thanks. Hi, that's my girl Stevie Nicks. And once in a while, I love to go for a drive and listen to tunes and, absorb all the coincidences that God shows me every day and shows other people every day. And I want to just tell you a story about myself regarding myself and my relationship with cars throughout my life. And I can tell you that it stems from my original car that when I was born, my dad owned or was about to own. I was born in 67, and he had a 1968 white Ford Mustang 289 V8 fastback in white. It had a black interior, had a automatic 3-speed transmission. My mom used to drive it. My dad used to drive it. That car, I'll show you a picture of me in that car in the early 70s, hanging out the window with my twin brother. It's the only one I have of the car. That car got passed on to my older brother, Rob, who was born in the Netherlands in 1961. Anyway, he got the car and painted it red and put mags on it and wrecked it and sold it. So that car's long gone. But I became a car connoisseur because of that car. I don't know what it was about that car. It was just something that suited me. And my first car when I was 16, I wanted a car. And the car I wanted was a Merkur XR4Ti. And none of you are going to know what kind of car that is, but I wanted a Merkur XR4Ti up in Canada, in Brampton. And I went to go get it, and it was too expensive because I was only 16. So I was offered a chance to buy a Mercury Cougar, a 1986 Mercury Cougar, and it was white, and it had a red velour interior, and it was like 14 grand back then. And that's the car I bought. And I got payments on the car, 36 months, like $380 or something like that. And I made those payments, and then before I even paid that car off, I bought a second car while I had a year left on that Cougar. I bought a 1988 Ford Mustang 5-liter fastback in white. The car of my dreams. And when I drove that car off the lot in that 5-speed V8 5-liter, I was in love with driving, period. So that white Mustang, I souped that car up with center lines. I put a GT interior in it because it was an LX at one point. I put a saline fin on the back and painted it pearl white, the whole car, monochrome pearl white. And I put a $19,000 back then, before 1990, $19,000 audio system in that car. So I was a car enthusiast and a music enthusiast, a car stereo enthusiast, or any kind of music stereo at home, or headphones, since I was a kid. And so that love affair with cars, and I'm getting to a point which is simply the Beatles sing about a guy from the motor trade, and that's me. Anyway, I went into the car business as a salesman in 1992, October, and I sold my first car as a Ford Crown Victoria in October of 92 for around 30 grand Canadian. And I sold cars from that day forward for the majority of my career until I stopped working. And I've owned some great cars, okay? I'm gonna show you one right here. That's the best car that money can buy for any kid or adult, family, okay? And it's the most fun, and I've owned every single car. My last sporty car was a Nissan GTR, 2013. I had a 14 and a 13, black edition, all white. With the black edition had the lighter wheels and the graphite spoiler. And anyway, so I've had that. I've had 3 Lincoln Mark 8s. I've driven Navigators, every Lincoln, the LS. I've had a diesel Volkswagen Golf in 2015, which was a diesel, and Good morning, my beautiful kids. Good morning, Kyler. Good morning, Kelsey. It's Tuesday morning. Tuesday's my favorite day of the week because the King was born on Tuesday, on a January 17th at 4:30 p.m. The afternoon delight, and I just I'm grateful, so grateful to be alive, almost 58 soon, and thanking the Creator every day for life and showing me the future, and there's only two explanations to why we're here, and either we have a creator or we don't. It's one of two things. Okay, now when I hear people talk about God, they always refer to the Bible. I don't understand why that is. Every argument people make is, well, God, but the Bible, the Bible's so false, and there's thousands of religions that happened before that, and that doesn't mean there has to be a Jesus to have a creator. The creator, you have to look at life in general, what's happening all around the world in total. Some of you are so sheltered from the real world, but there's as much misery on this planet as there is happiness. If you just got to see in these unfortunate war-torn places all over the world, civil wars in Africa and in the Middle East, and the squalor that's in every single city in the world. I don't know, there's probably a few in Switzerland, maybe maybe a few small countries in Europe that don't have that homeless problem, but we have a worldwide homeless problem. We have a worldwide mental problem, at least here in the U.S. I shouldn't speak for the rest of the world, but there's either a creator or there's nothing. That this happened. It was one solid thing at one point, and it expanded out, and it's going to expand back in at one point, and it's going to do it all over again, and who knows what kind of chaos will happen the next time around, or what's happened in the past. Obviously, anything and everything that's always ever happened already happened in the universe. So the distances that we're talking about between stars and galaxies, and the distances that we're able to look out with the James Webb Telescope, it's looking more and more all the time that this is a shrinking and expanding universe. We're gonna, it's not gonna make any difference to us unless there is an afterlife. Personally, for me, I choose to believe that there's a creator, and that the creator is into everything, and sorry about that, but we're here, we're on our own, obviously. The decisions that we make as a human species that is in control of this planet, if we make bad decisions like Hitler, okay, or good decisions like, I don't know, a great environmentalist. I don't know if Bill Gates is trying to be pro-humanity. I'm not sure about fake meat. I don't know. It could be better for you. I don't know why we don't have an open mind about these things. Things change over the centuries. So I don't believe in killing a zillion cows a year all over the world, murdering them in cold blood, pain, no euthanization, nothing. Just slit the throat, and I don't care if you're kosher or not. It's all murder. They all suffer. So maybe that is the future, genetic food that's more sustainable for our species for the long haul. Worldwide war's got to stop, but I see the Earth going in a pattern, history of mankind. Okay, and I also see that the future is not written at all. There's no will. As a consciousness, the Creator's allowing us to direct us where we want to go. If we all can be a believer in something, that we can make it happen, some impossible things even. But as a collective consciousness, if we start believing in certain things, then we can change the future of our world, which is what we need to do, because we need to stop war, and we need to stop killing and murdering, and war is murder, and any president in the United States is guilty. Lyndon B. Johnson is not only guilty of Kennedy's murder, he's guilty of killing tens of thousands of Americans and hundreds of thousands of Vietnamese. He's responsible for that. When Kennedy was clearly winding down the war and getting people out of there, only after 100 casualties, Johnson is responsible for hundreds of thousands of people's deaths. And the Creator obviously knows that, because anything you see with this retina and the way the electronic magnetism is around the Earth and transmission, and there's a million frequencies we can't see, from radio waves to satellite to Wi-Fi, and every piece of information comes to this box, just like Tesla predicted. And electricity should be the same way too. So we have to start believing in things like that power can be produced out of a 6x6 cube sitting next to your home, producing all the power that your house needs by just gathering energy from the sun, and however we can grab the energy of the magnetic field that's sitting around this box. And every house should have a unit and have free electricity in the whole wide world, and take down every single light pole. America, look at the pictures of America. I'll show some. It's ridiculous. We're hanging wires from every building in America to the road. Why we're not transmitting electricity through why we keep hanging electrical wires across this country is so, it's 100-year-old, 150-year-old technology, and it's so ugly. Trump talks about the windmills that are ugly, and they are, and everything should be powered by the sun regardless. But the electrical wires in this country, it ruins every place, from Lahaina, Maui, to my front driveway. I got to look at these big canisters of electricity and transformer stations, and US 1 from Miami to Key West, we have these huge electrical poles that are steel. They're 100 and 200 feet high, carrying 6 million zillion watts to Key West. I walk under it at night and I'm getting fried because I hear the electricity. You realize you lose half of the power when you transmit electricity to its destination. You lose half the power you're sending because it's so inefficient. It's time we start. We talk about infrastructure. We can't build a bridge that lasts 40 years. Romans have bridges that are still bridges 2,000 years later. So there's no excuse why we can't do things properly in this country from the very beginning. And it's going to take a collective consciousness from our Creator to point this planet in the direction. And once we start pointing the planet in the direction where we have worldwide peace, and we start removing borders as much as we can, that we move to a globalized world economy, that we share our strengths and our weaknesses together, and don't take advantage of each other's countries based on their labor laws or their resources. The world's resources should be the world's resources, so we need to eliminate a zillion companies, conglomerate it into a couple dozen professional companies that do it right, do it efficiently, reduce our work week. If we start believing these things as a society, then you're going to see people start living longer. You're going to start seeing cancer get solved. Hopefully the average human life will be 100 years. And if we do have a creator and we think like that and we see positive signs, maybe then we'll start seeing some miracles. Because I say that the direction we're going in now, he's like, let them let them blow up the last building on the planet and let them start over. He doesn't give a shit. He's watching it and just enjoying all the creativity, good and bad, from every human being on earth and having his thrills. Okay, because I believe, like I was saying, with your eyes, the retina, the electromagnetic field, that somehow maybe there's just something bigger than us that's recording everything, I just believe that there's magical properties in plasma and the electromagnetic field and just the way our eyes are designed, and that if there is a creator, then there's more control coming if we treat this place like the magic that it is, like the glorious place in the universe. The more we look out, the more we are saying that Earth is so rare that we have to treat this place better, and we have to treat each other better. Now, if there's no creator, who gives a shit then, right? Rape and pillage and kill anybody you want. Do whatever the fuck you please. No rules. There's no consequence other than jail. Maybe the death penalty. People don't care about that at all. I haven't seen one slice of evidence that the death penalty deters any kind of crime. It doesn't even come into a murderer's way of thinking. I've seen countries that handle crime the opposite way. They allow shit to happen so we can deal with the problems that are occurring and treat those problems, like the drug problem in Portugal at one time was out of control. And they basically removed all the crime revolving around drug use and started treating these people as patients. People that use drugs have problems with addiction that is just uncontrollable. Okay, I can't quit weed to save my life because it just makes me feel. I know what addiction is like. For my son, I just worry about him so much, because that's why I make these videos. For my son, who's playing video games probably 12 to 20 hours a day on his computer at home after graduating with a Bachelor of Science here in Florida on a scholarship for his mathematical abilities. So he went to school for free, graduated, and for 4 years since, he's been on his ass on the computer playing a video game. I don't even know which one it is, if he's even changed it or if he's just playing forever. His mother, he lives with his mother, and his mother feeds him every night, and they were both pretty chubby there for a while. My son, I didn't even recognize him when I saw him the last time I saw him. He was so heavy and hairy and unkempt. So, if there's no creator, then there's the only thing stopping you from doing anything is the police, and I don't believe that. I just think there's just too much karma. There's too much good. The more good you do, the more comes to you. There's so many examples. Taylor Swift, Howard Stern. These are my idols. There's just so many people that deserve what they have because of the type of people that they are. You don't make it into show business, and it's such a rare. Look at how few people are in it. But you don't make it without being an outstanding person. And then when you stop being an outstanding person, then you shun you. You get shunned. Okay. All right. So, bottom line is, I choose to believe there's a creator, because the creator is showing me. Has this ever happened to you? A song is playing, and the song matches everything you're doing, literally word for word. You know, I've had that happen to me like 40 times in my life. You know, where I'm like I was listening to Ellie Goulding the other night, and she was singing about the fire, and I was lighting my fire in my fireplace here at exactly the same time she sang those lyrics, and the whole song made my whole life make sense. I mean, everything in the song was true to me. And so that's me connecting to the consciousness that I'm connecting into is this bigger consciousness, which is the creator, steering certain people, okay, that want to believe the truth of our history and tell the truth, unlike Donald Trump lies. Okay, like we're never going to get anywhere if we get where we are by cheating, lying, or buying people. Okay, there's karma coming back to you if you cheat what's fair. And everyone knows what's right and what's wrong. Everyone knows there are laws in this country. You either follow them or you break them. Okay, and I've had so many things truthful happen to me, and I've been so blessed in my life. I've literally skated through life with very little effort, you know, because I was in the car business, as predicted by the Beatles, that the king comes from the car trade. He was also a carpenter, age 19, for a couple 3 years. The best worker in every job. These are not coincidences. This is God showing me that I'm going in the right direction when these miracles happen in my life, and He gives me these signals that I can feel happy about, that I'm making the right decisions. And then the music guiding me, and the sounds and lights steering me. I get brought to these really architecturally beautiful places with the right lighting, and it transforms for me into a 4D vision. These places that I come across, like we're changing so many positive parts, you know, but there's so much ugly we got to get rid of. But anyway, that's why I believe there's a creator, okay? Because I've seen the mental anguish of what a type of hell can be in 1988. I'm going to tell my whole story, you know, because in 1988 I had a drug psychotic episode with PCP and a marijuana laced joint that I had no idea had PCP in it. I used to smoke a little weed with my roommates. I used to rent my room to in a farmhouse that I rented, and then I rented out the rooms, and we would smoke a little weed. But this one was laced with PCP, and it was just kind of slipped into me. And with Darren Young, I'll never forget him, because I saw shit that night that was inexplicable. But I did fall down the rabbit hole with the anguish of knowing that hole was never ending. And the further you got from that light you fell from, okay, the more you knew in your mind that the further away you'll never get back. And it just gets kind of mentally anguishly worse, that whole experience. And I broke out of that, and I saw the light, because I was heading toward the dark. I walked upstairs, and I was in my room, and I saw the light just shine up in the room, and I was singing. I kind of distracted myself with my keys and got out of that. But he was showing me both ends of the light and the dark. And, you know, there was a lot of talk in 1988 about the Lord coming back, and a guy wrote a book about it. There was a big vibe about the coming of Christ. Then when I had this incredible experience in 1988 on March the 2nd, and I tell the story on my TikTok channel, but this is for my kids. Anyway, I think we're gonna wreck ourselves here in America with this Trump administration. I'm hoping that the courts will keep it all in line, but the judges, like this Judge Eileen Cannon, is biased. She's a Trumper. She made a decision based on his documents case there in West Palm Beach to dismiss the case because Jack Smith was appointed incorrectly, unconstitutionally, which is bullshit. And so she lied to get him out of that deal. And, you can't trust judges anymore. The decision, this immunity decision, is the wrong decision. Why we would allow someone to kill somebody just because they're in office, if it's part of a government duty, is wrong. Okay, I think the president should be even more upheld to the law than the average person. Okay, yeah, I think if you had a misdemeanor, you shouldn't run for office. But let's just keep it straight. From a young age, teach people what will happen if you break the law. If you want to be in office one day, you can't. There's no way a guy with that behavior and his business tactics and his facade that he creates by lying and pushing and denying and never giving up and fight and all that, that should never be allowed in office. This is so dangerous. People are so trigger happy with weapons. They love that shit. Come on. Come on. The Army, the Navy, when they shoot shit up and kill things, they're like happier than a pig in shit. It's just natural to have destruction in the male psyche, as instincts from centuries and thousands and tens of thousands of years of fighting each other on this planet from the beginning of time. That's all we've ever done. And we're still doing it. Now it's all mental warfare. Putin and sending out the pictures of Trump's wife, and he approved that just to humiliate him and let Trump know who the fuck is in charge here, and all the mental anguish, and this Kim Jong-un guy just believing what he believes. And why can't they just believe that we'll give them peace if they just stop fucking around and treat their people properly? Just make sure they don't starve to death and they have shelter. Which brings me to the last thing that I wanted to make this whole point about is I got to go take my mom to the doctor. I'm taking care of her. But the whole point of this whole thing, I'm coming, is... All right. So just to finish my thought, I'm here at the doctor with my mom. Just to finish my thought on what I believe, okay, and what I think our whole general consensus should be is the following things worldwide. Okay, as we move towards what's right in this world, based on science and fact. Okay. We can't have any theology going on when it comes to government. Okay, allow people to have their own faith. Okay, and let them practice whatever faith they want. Okay, but like I said before, not until you're 18. No religion until you're 18, so you can comprehend for yourself based on the facts and the evidence if this is true or not. Okay, not brainwash a kid from birth, baptism, to every funeral and every wedding and all that bullshit for their whole lives. Let's remove that. But back to what we as a civilization on the world of 8 billion people, we all should be guaranteed, and this is how I would run the world government, we should all be guaranteed, number one, health care for basically free. Okay? It's nobody's fault who gets hurt, who gets sick. It's just random. There's no rhyme or reason to anybody getting sick or hurt. These are accidents, and these are things that happen. So, free health care for every citizen on the planet. Okay? Clean, drinkable water. Whatever we got to do to make this water drinkable, that's what we got to do. Okay? Somebody's got to figure out how to get free power to people, free electricity, because the sun is free and it burns 24/7 and never breaks down. Okay, so that's free. That should be free. Or at least a minimum copay of some kind for maybe the box that creates the power in your place, for your space. Healthcare, clean water, and clean air. Okay? Those are human rights. Okay? And everybody equal, of course. A lot of the Constitution, the American Constitution, should be looked at very carefully, and the Second Amendment is retarded. The Second Amendment is the doom of this country. I grew up in Canada. My parents are from the Netherlands. I follow Europe news. I follow Canadian news. Okay, and the gun situation in this country compared to the whole world is completely out of hand. There's billions of weapons in this country that are readily accessible to anybody who has the will to get one, can get one. I don't care if you have a background check or not, if you had a misdemeanor or a felony. If you want a gun, you can get a gun, because there's a trillion of them floating around this country. Okay, so they're too easy to get on the underground market. So we need to get rid of the guns. Now, I believe a handgun with a maximum of six to 10 bullets for your home, that you should have a gun in your home if you want. Let's keep kind of the Second Amendment for what it was really meant to be back in the 1700s. Okay. They didn't have assault weapons. Okay, so that's a big part of it. All right. So limit it to your home to protect your home from invasion. Okay, but out and about, there shall be no guns on you at the facility other than mentally stable police. Okay, that'll solve a lot of murder and a lot of anguish. The Second Amendment's got to go. Universal health care's got to come in. Water, air, okay, and healthy food. This is the government's responsibility. Healthy food to the people. Okay. Most of the food in the grocery store, and I shop here at Publix here in Marathon, most of it is unbuyable. It's not food. It's killing you. It's killed me. I'm in the car business for 30 years, eating pizza and hamburgers, okay, and McDonald's every week, and every fast food you can imagine. This shit is garbage. Okay, we've got to get back to the fruit tastes like garbage. The vegetables taste like garbage compared to 40 years ago. We need access to healthy, whole foods type, plant-based, non-chemical foods. These foods in the grocery store should have huge warning labels. Anything with coloring and high fructose corn syrup and that kind of thing. Okay, I got to go. Those are the things I want to lay out for the world government. I love you guys, and I got to get my mom. I'll see you guys.